Happy Friday, y'all. It is, what time is it? 2:25. Yeah. Figured touch base. I had no work today. I had to go run around. It was Donuts for Dads today, so I went to my little one's school, and they did a little presentation for us. We had donuts. We made a cool little thing with our hands. It was beautiful. I definitely can't get enough of it, and being a father is awesome. That's all I can say without getting emotional, because there just seems like there's not enough time in the world to spend with them. You know, we got to work and do all these adulting things, which sucks ass. And I was happy to just kind of change it up, and it was tough. The little bit of anxiety in me that keeps me away from doing some new stuff or around new people, crowds, etc. I somehow was able to just suck that down and go to the school by myself and focus on her. Shout out to my buddy Tim. He was there also with his little one. Our daughters are in the same class. It was beautiful. The kid just yelling with mom down there. But it was beautiful. I figured I'd touch base just because I've been slacking and just been emotionally drained and working on the house and stuff, so I haven't wanted to put content out. But I'm like, you know what, I got 15-20 minutes. The kids just got off the bus, and they had an early day today too. It was Monday's the last day of school. I kind of touch base a little bit, what's going on. If you saw my last flight video, you saw some pretty wild crashes. The good news is Tata's is okay. All that happened was this thing's just glued on there, and then I strap it through. I don't know how I would make them out unless somebody does 3D printing that watches this and would love a challenge. I would love to come up with something that I could do with this. That'd be kind of cool. And you know, I just thought of maybe if I had a tiny strap, I could strap it to the bottom of that and go through there. But it would be kind of cool to create something made for this style frame. I wish I knew what the frame was, but anyway, all that broke on this guy, and you're not going to be able to see it even if I try. Let's see if I can get in there. Okay, so let me see if I can get my fat finger in there. The two solder points you see are the positive and negative. The ground somehow broke off in the crash, so I snuck back in there, soldered it. It works. That was pretty easy. I only flew this a couple packs, as I didn't slap the GoPro on this one, so the last video you saw was just Enigma here. So there was no footage from this thing, but I did rip it quite a bit, and most of the flight footage you saw was with this. I just swapped out the props that came in. Why is that crooked? I don't know. Put you down for a minute. I must have just put that on crooked. I went outside and did a quick test flight. These are the GEM fans. I think they're 50-45s. I don't know if I have a bag. I'm not even going to worry about it. Whatever. I just want to make sure everything worked properly with this guy. I had a fail-safe. One severe and one was just above grass with this guy, and both of them were close. One was 50 feet away. The other one was like 80, but it was above trees, but it still had a straight shot at it. I was flying with another fella. I don't know what the hell transmitter he was using, but I did notice some weird reactions with the quad, so there had to have been interference. I don't know. But what happened with this guy in one of the crashes, that the plug on the back of the camera actually came out. When it fail-safed above the trees, it blunked through the trees, and something caught the GoPro, ripped that off. God bless that thing was 2 feet from the quad. Unfortunately, facing down. If it was firing up, I would have found it easier, because where's the GoPro? There's the GoPro. The little LED, where the hell's the LED? It's right here. The little LED, you couldn't see it flashing while it was recording. But thank God for the beeper. I encourage every single person that if you're building and not buying, as most of them come with a beeper, to install a beeper and put it on a switch. So that way when you go down, or you can have it automatic, so if it's not in a level position and cropped or whatever, it will beep. And then, what else? I think that was it. I checked all my connections. Everything was fantastic. This thing was bent, which is no big deal. So I noticed I had a little bit of jello in here, and it was because of me. What I did was I had foam, like a high density foam, which I don't have any in front of me, on the GoPro mount, and then on here, and I think it just didn't crunch it down enough. So it had play, so it wiggled back and forth. So I took all that off. I left a little bit that I had on here, and then on the back side, which you can see right there, if I can focus, there we go. I put a little piece on the back to stop it from rocking, and it seems like it's a little more sturdy. So I should have a lot less jello, because I watched back a bunch of the footage, because I flew like 15 packs or so and recorded at least 10 of them on this guy. And after one of the first crashes, I had a bent prop, which I don't think I have super handy. Let's see where. One of these props, the Strix props, which I wasn't too unhappy with. They're smooth. They don't have a real torquey power band. One of these was bent. Yeah, it's this one. You're not going to be able to see it super well. There's a little crease right here. Yeah, you can kind of see it. And it was bent pretty much all the way down. I got it back to them for the most part, but I definitely noticed the wobble within the footage. My FPV feed, which is crazy, that's how I know it was mostly the mount, because there was no jello in here at all. It was just in there. But that would explain, you know, the extra padding that I put in there that didn't absorb it. So I got these props, and then I have a couple other I'm going to try. I don't know, what else is going on? Let's see what's going on. I showed you guys the LED the other day on the little disco LED. I'm not a fan of disco. Some of the comments, that's what this light's called. When we start making some gates and doing a little more racing soon, I think this will be a hit, because the brighter the track is and stuff. Garden FPV said it. Whoops are about LED gates, tracks, making these things bright and fun. When you're flying around a bunch of people, yeah, they're kind of stealthy and quiet, and you can sneak around. But with the light, it'll draw a little more attention. But I think they'll get a kick out of it a little bit more. Battery life was about the same. Usually I like to cycle the pack a couple times before I give a fair shot at, you know, battery life on it. Like I said, this was the MyLipo DE, and this was a 305 milliamp, so it was a little bit heavier. I easily got 5 minutes with it, and the video that I showed last, I had it on for a couple minutes, so I still had around 5 minutes even with it sitting on for a little while. I'm probably going to swap out the frame. I've had a broken little stress bar here, whatever you call these things. I'd like to get that blue, that like I don't know what the hell, dyed blue, the cockroach frame. I think that's where I'm gonna go with this one. Try, like I did, like the watermelon looking props. These are just magenta ones from Tiny Whoop. These I've had forever. I don't know. I got the light done. I don't have a battery plugged in. I didn't do anything fancy, crazy, super custom. I just kind of melted a hole into the back of the canopy, and I did that because I know that I can replace this. It's no big deal. I wanted some form of an LED on this thing. This is the original one from the 3rd gen, or the trash can, and I have it set so it zigzags back and forth. It's blue, green, blue, or vice versa. It should hold up. It doesn't look the coolest, but hey, you know, not always has to look badass. It just has to work. There's no other place. I might swap that out later on and put just a single SMD or something, surface mount LED. And I was thinking about maybe a headlight, because we do a little bit of flying after dark. So I might find one of those little service mounts that I saw on Tiny Whoop, which looks super cool. So flying at nighttime, because this camera does not like when it starts getting dark at all. But I went back. I flew the green props. They say that they're the OEM ones. They're the neon green quad props, but I think they're knockoffs because, number one, first crash. Yeah, I was going from the backyard. If you're watching the videos, I come up the hill and I go over the house, and I thrusted it on a fresh battery, so it launched a little early and went and got stuck in a tree, and it was hanging up there for a while. It broke one of the blades off of the quad props, and I mean, they weren't balanced right off the rip. They had jello in the footage and shit, so I broke all of them. I said fuck it, and went to the biprops, which weren't bad. But again, there's jello, so I'm going to shave the sides down on them and see if they work any better. But I'm noticing with this guy, tri-props seem to be the best. I'm going to do some more experimenting with a bunch of the other crappy props I got, and do a little more biprop experimenting and see what I can do with this for giving me more flight time, and you know, see if it's got the same kind of thrust and stuff like that. But I got to get ready. I got to get the kids ready to go to Grandpa's in a little bit. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll try to do some live stuff maybe this weekend and have you all there. So enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. Live PD's on tonight. Yeah, A&E. So stay tuned. Explicit out.